For those of you that have come from other DAWs, you're probably used to the term automation. If you haven't worked with automation before, let me give you a rundown. With automation, you can record the movements of, say, a fader, moving to different parameters over a period of time. The DAW records these movements, and then the next time you play back the audio, it'll follow those movements recorded. In Reaper, you use envelopes to draw in your automation. These envelopes can be accessed through the trim box. Once clicked, you see all the envelopes that are available for this track. The more plugins and synths that you have added to the tracks, the more envelopes that are available. Take a look at this synth. It's a Minimoog with a bunch of plugins. Check out all the envelopes that are available. You got the synth over here, and then the plugins, and all the envelopes that can be assigned to them. You can use this highlight section to help you find a specific envelope if the menu is too expansive. Let's type volume, and you'll see it highlights volume parameters that are available. Also, if there's a filter section, you can use this as well. So let's say I type tune, and it will show you any tune parameters that are available. Let's just close that window there. Let's go to the beats, and go to trim, and I want to automate the volume. You'll see that an automation pane comes up. This shows you the volume parameter here. You see you can drag it up and down to change the volume. You can create envelopes by right-clicking and choosing Create Point. And let's just create a few more. You see if you hold on the point, you can drag them up or drag them down and move them around. You see, drag here. If you hold down Option on the Mac or Control on the PC, you can delete these points. You see a little X comes up, showing you that you can delete it. There's also a pen tool. Once selected, you can easily draw in automation points. If you hold down Command on the Mac or Control on the PC, it changes to the pen tool. And you can easily draw in these points. You can copy points. Let's say you make a selection over these points here. You can move the points to a different area. Or if you copy these points, you can paste them elsewhere in the arrangement. So I've copied them here, and I'll paste them there. When the grid is active, you'll see that the envelope points conform to the grid. If you want to move them more freely, just disable the grid. If you click here, you can choose to hide the envelope, you can clear the envelope, or you can move it to the media lane. You'll see that the envelope points now sit over this media lane, which is quite nice if you want less screen clutter, but you still want to be able to see the automation and envelope points. The other alternative is to set an envelope to an automation mode. You can then drag a parameter whilst in playback to record the envelope movements. For those of you that haven't worked with automation before, here are some things for you to know. If you click on the trim box here, you'll see the automation mode. This is what we'll be using when we'll be doing the automation in playback. Read mode will read any automation that has been written. So first, you'll choose the automation mode, and then you'll change it back to read so that it reads the automation that's been made. Latch mode latches to any changes you've made in the automation, but when you let go, it stays where you last left it. Touch works a little different. When you change a parameter, it records the changes, but when you let go, it goes back to what it previously was. And then you have write. This will completely overwrite any automation. Be careful when you work in this mode, because you can easily overwrite automation that you've been working meticulously on. So you'll first choose one of the writing modes, such as touch, latch, and write. And then when you're done, you'll move back to read so that it reads the automation. It may sound a bit confusing to you now, but let's record some automation so you know what the differences are. Let's do some automation on the Beats channel. Click the trim box, and for an automation mode, let's first go to write and tick volume, because this is the parameter that I want to automate. You'll see the meter goes red, showing that it's in automation mode. Okay, let's close that window. So whilst in playback, start moving the volume, and you'll see how the envelope points are drawn in. Now change this back to read. You'll see that the meter goes green here, showing that it's in read mode. When you play back, the volume fader moves accordingly to the automation points written in. Okay, let's try another mode. Let's try latch now. If you play back here, you see it'll quickly make some changes. When you let go, it'll remain in that last position for the remainder of the section. You see we let go over here, and it just remained there. Let's just undo that. I'll show you the touch mode now. Touch is very handy if you want to do some edits to the automation. Let's say you've done this automation, and you just want to go back and tweak something. Play it back. You want to quickly drop it here, see how it goes red, and then let go, and it goes back to the previous envelope points. That's envelopes for you. Next, we'll look at how to set up rewire devices.